Hey, Laura here again, and welcome back to another video. I'm so excited. We have over 3,500 subscribers now. So my next goal is to get to 4,000. So I think what I'm doing is working. I'm getting questions from people and I see that the views are going up. So my hope with doing exclusive content for YouTube for dentists and teams is coming together. So that being said, I'm going to talk about a topic that comes up to me all the time when I'm speaking and then when doctors sign up for training at Front Office Rocks. And it's not a topic that's easy to address, but again, I'm using YouTube as my platform to talk about these topics. So the question is, and what I get a lot of times is dentists will say to me, well, Laura, I signed up for your training, but my team refuses to do it. Or it may not even be my training. It might be, I tell the employees that I want them to do X, Y, Z, and they don't do it. So I just can't get my team to do it. So that's a hard question or a hard comment for me to hear. And it's because I have a view for the dentist side and then I have a view for the team member side. And when I speak in front of an audience, I usually say these things. I don't have any videos on Front Office Rocks specific for this, but I'm hoping if you're watching this, maybe you're a client dealing with this issue. If you're a dentist, here's my words of advice for you. You pay them for a job. If your name's on the wall, if you pay the rent, if you pay their salary, if you give them a job, when you tell them they need to do something, as long as it's legal, as long as it's ethical, you're not asking them to do anything that's too physical for them or not ethical, but you're asking them to do something like watch an hour of videos or maybe fill the coffee area up when it gets empty or show up to work on time or whatever it is you're trying to get your employees to do. If they're not doing it, that's a problem. You pay them for a job. You give them a great environment and a place to work, and they have job requirements. And part of the job requirements might be you have to do an hour of training every day. You need to show up to work on time. You need to have a good attitude when you get here. Whatever it is you're trying to enforce or have happen in your practice, they need to do it because do it or get written up and eventually, go find another place to work because in our office and in my office, this is how we do things. So a lot of times I hear dentists talk to me about this issue and I kind of challenge them to say, if they're not doing what you want them to do, ultimately, do they work for you or do you work for them? Think about that. Your name's on the wall, but if you're telling them to do something and they're not doing it, then ultimately they're in charge. So you work for them and you can only be as good and grow to whatever they are willing to do, which that's a problem. Okay. Now I'm not saying that this can't be fixed. I'm not saying that you can't sit down and talk to the team members and tell them this, but hopefully when you sit and talk to them, they're going to step up and they're going to do whatever it is. They just need you to be more confident and more clear in what your expectations are for their job. Now, team members, on the flip side, you get paid to do a job. And your job is not, the outline of your job and your job descriptions not completely dictated by you. You work for a dentist, you work for an office manager who they decide what you do. If they decide you need to do an hour of training a day, then guess what? That's part of your job. If they're paying you and it's a requirement to what they want to do in the practice, then you need to check your attitude. And I'm sorry if I'm being too abrupt, but it's very easy for you to go find another job. And if you don't align with the dentist, if you don't align with the philosophy, if you don't believe in what the dentist wants you to do, well, then you need to decide, is this a place you need to work? And if you think it is, then great. You need to do what the doctor tells you to do or what the office manager tells you to do. Maybe it's not a place you need to work. And I'm not advocating that people get fired or people quit, but I think we hold on to jobs and we hold on to employees way too long. Especially when I hear people say to me, Laura, my team won't do training because first of all, it's sitting in front of videos. There's nothing hard about that. You're getting paid to do the job and The only reason for these videos is improvement. It's to help your practice grow and your team grow and get better. And maybe it's not rocket science. Maybe it's not, like going to change the world, but it is good information that's going to help you improve and maybe try things a little differently and maybe do things that you've forgotten about in the past. And now it's a reminder, like, you know what, we need to get back to that. So there you go. So there's my thought about this. Dentists, if you have people on your team that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, what you want them to do, then you need to be the leader. You need to make sure that you're communicating well with them. You're explaining to them the why. Why are we doing this? Why do we want to implement training in our practice? Why do we want to improve in certain areas? You need to give them the place to do it, the resources to do it, which, we cover all that in Front Office Rocks, but you need to make sure that they've got the training and the knowledge that they need for whatever it is you're trying to do. And then you need to give them the ability to do it. Now, if you've done all that and they're still saying they're not going to do it, then it's time to sit down with them and say, listen, your job depends on you doing this. You can decide not to do it. That's fine. But then I can decide you don't have a job here. All right. And then team members, you need to be clear with your doctors to say, I don't have what I need. I don't understand why we're doing this. I would like more help in a certain area. But then once your doctor steps up and gives you what you need, then you need to do it because you get paid to do a job. And if your doctor and office manager decides that your job is, you need to show up on time, you need to answer the phones, over lunch, you need to get rid of your attitude, you need to do training, then it's time for you to do it. So have a gut check, look in the mirror, whether you're the dentist or the team member, and then come together and find a solution. I'm hoping that works because at the end of the day, it's the doctor's name on the wall. The doctor signs the checks, and team members, we're here to help our doctor take care of our patients. So make sure you guys are on the same page. I hope that kind of addresses that question. It comes up all the time. As you can tell, I get a little excited about it because I think that we need to come together and realize who's the boss and where do we work and why are we here. And things like Front Office Rocks and the training that I offer is just there to be a resource for you and your team. And there should be absolutely no reason that anybody's pushing back. And with the right communication and the why and the training, if somebody's pushing back about doing these video trainings, then I have a problem with that employee. If it's a bigger issue, of course, you've got to see it. Like, let's say you're trying to, change softwares or go paperless. There's a lot more to it, but watching videos at work while you get paid, there's absolutely no reason that you really should have a pushback if you are a good employee and you have a good employee on your team. So thanks guys. Thanks for listening. I hope for any clients that my team referred you to watch this video that this helps a little bit. Just so you know, at Front Office Rocks, we have customer service reps. We help onboard. We help with the transition of implementing training in your practice. But ultimately, doctors, you need to step up because your name's on the wall. You need to, if you want to get the practice to where you want it, you need to implement the things that are going to work for you. And we're hoping that Front Office Rocks can be part of it. So thanks guys. Thanks for the questions. And when this comes up, I hope this addresses it. Keep adding questions, comments down below, subscribe, help me get to 4,000 followers. And thank you guys for listening. Have an awesome day.